topic and
just introduce yourself and your
so I'm Jake. I'm going to be taking the left-wing stance on this topic here.
Hi, I'm Donald, and I'm doing the more conservative side of legalizing marijuana.
Okay, so question, Tyler.
I have a question. Should the states be forced to obey federal law regarding marijuana, or should the states have the right to choose whether they use marijuana? That's a good one.
Was that for me? Yeah. Well, I believe that every state needs to adhere to the power of the federal government. I also believe that the federal government needs to legalize marijuana. Okay, so there's four main reasons that I believe the federal government needs to legalize marijuana. The first being it's going to lower crime rates. The second being it's going to boost the economy. The third is going to be that it's going to boost the morale and society as a whole. And the fourth being the medicinal uses of marijuana. So starting off with crime rates here, crime rates are going to be reduced in a lot of different ways. So the first being that people who are currently smuggling marijuana into the United States from places like Mexico aren't going to be persecuted. And that's not going to take up space in our jail. And that's going to reduce the amount of prosecutions that are happening in the United States in general. The second being that people who have minor drug charges of marijuana currently aren't going to be charged with these accusations of drug charges the same way that a heroin user would be charged, because it would be dropped from that certain, I guess that false pedestal that it's on right now of such a horrible thing, like, oh my gosh, he uses marijuana, like, let's persecute him just like we would somebody who could OD on heroin or some other drug. Now, okay, the second reason is going to be economic benefits. So the economy is going to boost in two ways also. The first being the revenue that it's going to directly correlate with. People who sell and buy marijuana, it's just going to increase cash flow in general. And the second being the taxes that the government's going to be able to put on these marijuana businesses. And that's going to take us out of our $1 trillion debt that Mr. Herbert was referencing earlier. Okay, our third reason is going to boost morale in society in general. So there's been many studies run through the use of marijuana, and multiple studies show that this is going to boost your creativity and your self-esteem. So everybody's going to end up less combative in the long run, and I think this is going to be good for the morale of the entire country as a whole. Okay, so my last main point here is the medicinal purposes of marijuana. This is kindly what this is the main topic of discussion here. So, just like any different drug, prescription or otherwise, drugs affect people in different ways. So, currently, nobody has ever overdosed on any accounts of marijuana. There's never been a marijuana overdose. And so there's different positive impacts that we can have on your system. From everything from allergies to curing cancer, to fighting asthma, anything. So I believe this is the way you need to go. I pass it over to you, Representative.
So, first to attack that last point, one of the main uses for medicinal marijuana is for glaucoma. How often does somebody get glaucoma, Mr. Ford? Do you know?
Sure, no.
Exactly.
Go ahead and enlighten me.
So, that's really the only use. You don't use it for allergies. You don't use it for sinuses.
We're not reading the same sources.
Alright, to attack another point. Is revenue worth a human life? Because there are many cases where people commit suicide or kill other people while on marijuana.
I wasn't aware of this, but
and another thing, drug charges. So, you saying we're just going to take marijuana out of the same drug charges that happen for heroin and cocaine? Then, what's the point? Because, so marijuana is a gateway drug. And, so, let me go smoke a doobie, okay? Wow, that white stuff looks really good. I'm gonna try that. What's in that needle? And then I'm on the street dead, okay? You're saying you want that to happen to American citizens?
not all
Is that what
American
you're saying?
citizens are that stupid.
Okay.
Okay.
But the reason states should have to pick themselves instead of listening to the stupid big government is because it should be the people's choice. And the fact that somebody being able to make a federal law that marijuana is legal is just, it's astronomically dumb. Okay?
Well, I'd like to counter that by saying that it still will be the people's choice. It's not going to be required that you go and use marijuana every day. It's just an option now, more so than what it is currently. Secondly, I'd like to say that marijuana is in fact not as much of a gateway drug as everybody's saying, because it's not addictive. Other substances like nicotine, heroin, cocaine, these large, hardcore drugs that everybody's talking about, these have things that addict you to these substances and make you need more, whereas marijuana won't get you addicted or hooked on anything.
And you have proof that it's not an addictive drug? Oh, really?
Yeah.
So the people that need marijuana, that just like crave it, that's not an addiction?
I think you can crave milk. You can crave whatever you want to crave. You want it.
Yeah, but once you
eat
drink
it.
milk, you don't have to drink another milk.
You don't have to smoke another joint.
But the fact is that marijuana has the same amount of addiction rate that cigarettes do.
It's not true at all.
That is true.
Nicotine is what gets you addicted to cigarettes. There's no nicotine. There's no addictive substance found in marijuana. Marijuana is all natural.
What is marijuana made of? What substance is it? So,
Plants.
Alright, what's your next point?
Okay.
If I interrupted you, I apologize.
Oh, thank you. So next, I'd like to address the benefits, not the benefits, the criminal charges you were discussing. I think you misconstrued what I was trying to say here. So currently, especially in Texas right now, you have marijuana is held up to the same level of drug possession as heroin or cocaine. What I'm trying to say here is that you're not going to waste space in jails by arresting people who have marijuana charges anymore, because it's not going to be illegal to carry anything. So you're going to save the government money. Saving money, that sounds good, doesn't it? You're going to save the government money by lessening the amount of people in jail for these countless charges, and you're going to boost the morale of society by keeping these people out of jail, and that's going to make everybody a better person.
So does morale matter if the person's dead?
Okay, morale doesn't apply to dead people. Morale applies to the people that get affected.
But, see, there are multiple cases. When marijuana was legalized in Colorado, the death rate went up. Because, so this guy, he ate a pot brownie that had way too much pot in it, and he shot his wife. Right after. And then another man ate a candy with marijuana in it, jumped out of his 3-story window.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Are you pro-gun rights?
Yeah?
Okay, now do you believe that the very first time a gun was made, that a gun got introduced to society, that death rates did not go up then either?
Well, you see, the gun, but that's the thing though,
What's the thing?
is that guns have a different effect. People, there are laws on guns. You're saying you don't
laws
want,
on marijuana.
You're saying you don't want a law on marijuana though.
There's going to be restrictions. It's not going to be, oh my gosh, look, you're 3 years old and dying and have felony charges, you can go smoke a... I mean, no, like that's...
But they're not going to be a felon because you say you don't want them to be a felon either.
I don't want them to be a felon. They're not going to be a felon. Not for unrelated drug charges.
So, driving under the influence is bad, right?
Driving under the influence is bad.
So, if pot is legalized, can't you just hotbox in the car while you're driving?
Okay, you can drink
just
in a car while you're
kill
driving too, but alcohol's legal.
Yes, but alcohol doesn't screw with your brain as much as marijuana does.
Guys,
What makes you think that?
be quiet, class, quiet.
Why are you going to say that? What proof do you have behind
What
it?
alcohol does is it's a depressant. So it slows down your brain cells. Marijuana can kill your brain cells.
Alcohol can kill your brain cells.
No. Did you not just like listen to the thing I just said?
I did hear what you just said. It
It
was wrong.
slows down your brain.
Wrong.
Oh really?
Yeah.
And we're just to prove it's wrong.
Common knowledge, man. more criminal charges here. So now we're going to address the criminal charges that happen when drugs are smuggled into the United States from Latin American countries. So generally, the way this is going to go down is I'm going to send an American citizen down into Mexico that's going to retrieve the marijuana and bring it back up into America. You can get major felony charges for this type of stuff right now. See, but what I'm proposing is with a certain specific license, you're going to be able to move as much of this as you need for your businesses that are going to be legal. And that's going to boost the economy and keep people out of jail. I don't see what's wrong with boosting the economy and keeping people out of jail.
You're saying you should increase the cartel then?
No, I'm saying you're going to get rid of the cartel entirely because it's
How is
not
that
going to be
getting rid of
illegal.
the cartel?
Okay,
So, okay, marijuana's legalized.
marijuana's legalized.
Cartel's moving coke. Alright?
Okay.
Coke's legalized.
When is coke legalized?
Cartel's moving heroin now.
I never legalized coke or heroin.
Because all this, the cartel is gonna move stuff to make money.
Okay,
No
but
matter
the
what
cartel's
it
gonna
is.
be diminished. As soon as marijuana gets legalized, it's
But
not going to
how
be as
is
big.
the cartel gonna be diminished?
Because whenever marijuana is legalized, people aren't going to need to go down into Mexico and illegally smuggle these drugs back up. Because when it's legal, they're going to be able to walk down the street. They're going to pick up what they need, man.
Do you think marijuana is the only thing that the cartel moves?
I do not, but I think that it contributes to a lot of the problem right now, and that we can get rid of that very easily.
But like, so, the cartel, you do realize they bring in guns,
I realize that.
other drugs,
I realize that also.
and they're as equally big as marijuana is.
Okay, well, right now, I'm not trying to just eradicate the entire cartel. I'm trying
And
to
why
make
aren't you
America
trying to?
better. And you know what makes America great again? Legalize pot. That's what we do.
So, you're saying that legalizing pot would make America great again.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
And how? So, you legalize pot, right?
Legalize pot.
We'll
So-
hypothetically walk here, alright?
Okay.
You're legalizing pot,
Okay.
alright? A kid gets a hold of it.
Okay.
Kid shoots himself in the head.
Okay. These are What is this? That's not how it goes down. Just like anything, it's going to be the responsibility of the kid's parents to keep the pot where they need the pot to go. Just like alcohol right now. A kid can get totally wasted and do something stupid too, but he's not going to do it because it's not his responsibility. It's the responsibility of the guardians, and that's exactly how it's going to be with marijuana.
So,
We're on closings. We're on closings.
good.
Okay, so in closing, I'd like you to all just visualize yourself in a world that had legal marijuana. Now, simply just like, basically those 4 points. Basically those 4 points, you got the reduced crime rate, the boosted morale in society, you've got the better economy, and then you've got, I forgot my 4th point. But the point is, America as a whole is going to be a lot better if marijuana is legal than if it isn't. Thank you. Vote Jake for the win.
So, picture yourself in a world where marijuana is legalized. People are killing themselves more due to depressants and the fact that people are going to just have this mind spike, right? That children are going to be dropping out of schools, that this is going to affect our youth more than it's going to affect anybody else. And the fact that people don't rationalize themselves. And once they have it, there's no going back. We've tried with prohibition, we've tried with everything, and yet crime has gone up, and once it's there, it's there. And you're not going to be able to fix it. You can't do anything for it. So once it happens, it happens. Thank you.
All right.